Hey Martin, good to hear from you as you sent me your text this morning. I'm happy to make you a video for some tips on how to solve this problem. I don't want to straight out give you the answer though, so I'm going to show you pretty much the exact same problem just with different numbers. And I'm going to show you how to substitute for u, how to reduce to a quadratic, and then solve for x from your u expression. Okay, so basically the problem in your case told you to substitute an expression in for u. I'm going to do basically the same thing that your hint told you to do in the actual problem. So basically I'm going to take this expression, and anywhere I see it up above I'm going to put a u instead. I'm going to get 2u squared plus 9u plus 7 equals 0. Easy enough, right? So now we've got a very nice looking standard quadratic formula, or quadratic equation, excuse me, that we can now factor to get the roots for u. Okay, so basically we need to find two parenthetical factors that when we FOIL them out will get us to this guy. Okay, so really we just got to look at the different parts of this to figure it out. For example, the only way we can really get 2u squared out by FOILing is if we have 2u being times by u. This middle term is going to be a little tricky to figure out right now, so I'm going to skip to this term now. The only way we can get 7 out by FOILing is to have, maybe a 7 and a 1. So let's try this out. If it doesn't work, we'll just need to flip-flop these two. But let's try it out as it is right now. So 2u times u is 2u squared. 2u times 1 is 2u. 7 times u is 7u. 7 times 1 is 7. Okay, so when we combine our like terms, we get 2u squared plus 9u plus 7, which indeed matches this guy. So these are the correct factors. Okay, now that we know that, oops, forgot equals 0 right there. Now that we know that, we need to solve this FOILed format for u to make this statement true. So in other words, by the zero product property, because both of these times together have to equal 0, we could basically take both of these factors separately and set them equal to 0, since anything times 0 is 0. So let's take 2u plus 7 is equal to 0. And over here we're going to take u plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, and now we're going to solve this guy. Get this mess out of the way. We're going to solve both of these equations for u. So easy enough, we're going to just subtract 7's over. 2u is equal to negative 7. We're going to divide the 2 over. U is equal to negative 7 halves. And then with this one over here, minus the 1 over. U is equal to negative 1. Easy enough. Now what we're going to do we got to realize that we solved for u, which is great, but the question was asking us what is the x solution. So remember how up here we said that u is equal to x over x minus 2? We're basically going to take that expression, plug it in every place where we see u's now. So x over x minus 2 is equal to negative 7 halves. And then similarly, x over x minus 2 is equal to negative 1. Okay. Now this is basically our final step of the problem. We need to solve each of these equations for x. Now the way we go about that, it might be a little tricky, but I'll show you how it works. In each case, we're going to have an x minus 2 on our denominator, which we do not like. Having a variable in the denominator is a really bad idea. So to get it out of the denominator, I'm going to times both sides by x minus 2. Those will cancel, leaving me with x is equal to negative 7 halves times x minus 2. Now we can go ahead and distribute and simplify this problem down. X equals a negative 7 halves x plus 7. Okay, that's just simple distribution. And finally, we can start getting our x's by themselves. We're going to add that to the other side. Okay. Fractions, you gotta love adding them. So basically 1x is basically just the same thing as 2 over 2x. And we're just going to add 7/2 x to that. So what that's going to get us is 9/2 x equals 7. Divide the 9/2 to the other side. Okay. And dividing by a fraction, by the way, is just the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So we're basically going to get x is equal to 14 over 9. Okay, that's one of our solutions that you're going to enter into a Acellus. And then we forgot about this guy up here. We're going to do the same thing, multiply both the top by the denominator on both sides. Okay, so x is equal to -1 times x minus 2. Distribute that through so that x equals -x plus 2. Simple distribution again. Add our x's to the other side. 2x equals 2. Divide the 2 over. X equals 1. Okay, so those are the two solutions to this quadratic equation. Okay, we did a lot of work, but it's pretty straightforward. Just substitute in for u. Once you get u's, substitute back in for x, and then you're done. Hope this helped. Text me, let me know if you need more support, and we can get online and do it that way. See you then.